Hello, all. This is Dr. J at 11, streaming to you live from Long Island, New York, where the weather is a balmy, humid 80 degrees, and we're expecting rain, followed by rain, followed by more rain. And that's the same forecast for the rest of the week. Not a very pretty picture. You guys are going to have to you New Yorkers are going to have to come to tune me in more often just to kill some time in the rain. We'll spend some time in the rain together, looking at the Dow Jones industrial averages. I'm going to share my screen with you guys as soon as I can find my cursor. Ah, there it is. Alrighty, share screen. I love this infinity effect. Now let's go right to the Dow. The Dow, let's see where we are right now. The Dow looks like it's at negative 40, down 0.16%. Some of the stocks I follow on the right-hand side. Let's look at the averages. Well, the Dow, as we said, is down 40. I don't see the NASDAQ on the right-hand side. We'll take a look at the NASDAQ and the S&P as well. But for now, let's concentrate on the Dow. I believe all three markets are down slightly on the day. What we see here is a candlestick diagram going back to the highs of the year, late January. So the highs of the year were made right here. The high was 26,616 on the Dow. Right, and right now we're trading below that. So the Dow is off a certain amount for the year. Now this line here is a lower trend line that I drew, connecting the low on May 3rd with the new low, with a higher low on 6/28. And you notice these trend lines are not parallel, so they will intersect. We know that from geometry. So it's conceivable that if the Dow continues to trade within the two trend lines, that we can get sideways motion for some time. Let's see about how long. Well, roughly until these two lines intersect, which would be September the 10th. So depending how you draw these trend lines, and you have a certain amount of latitude in how you draw trend lines, the Dow could be in this coil where it's getting more tightly wound as we get into September. So the whole summer could be kind of a big yawn if that happens, with the highs of 718 standing for 2 months. And that high is 25,215. And the low that was made in June 28th, of 23,997 on the downside. So 24,000 to roughly 25,000. You could see a narrow trading range of about at most 1,000 points, probably less as it gets more coiled. And like any coil or spring, when it breaks out, it usually breaks out with gusto, so that you get a big move up or a big move down, depending on whether it breaks to the upside or to the downside. And we talked about probabilistic odds of which way it's going to go. Most pundits look at this kind of a triangle as a bullish continuation pattern. So they would be looking for a break to the upside. However, there's some peculiarities in here worth noting. You sort of have a double top or a head and shoulders forming. If it's a double top, then you're looking at these two highs as being the double top, June 11th and 718. And that would mean that it would be difficult to take out this double top. Also, we have a head and shoulders forming. Left shoulder here, left neckline here, head here, right neckline here, and a very high right shoulder. So such a high right shoulder might be more, you might be more inclined to call it a double top. In my mind, there's not much difference between a head and shoulders pattern like this and a double top. The only thing is the chartist will like to connect this line, the neckline. So let's connect that neckline. And if we do that, we can get an idea of where they would expect the downside to end. So let's see. I'm not very good at drawing this line. One thing you got to be good at as an analyst is drawing lines. Okay, so I didn't quite get it perfect, but good enough. So look, you draw an imaginary line down from the top of the head, and that's 25.4, where it would intersect the neckline, and that's somewhere below 24,000, right? Or somewhere above 24, right around 24,000. So roughly you have about 1,000 points that technicians would say below this intersection, which would drop you down to the 23,000 level. 23,500 is a double or triple bottom. So that would be my guess. If it breaks to the downside, that we would sell off up until about 23,500. Below that, I think we're heading for 20,000 or bear market country. So my feelings are, and this is again one man's opinion, that we do something like this, maybe bounce again, maybe test the upper trend line again, and then break to the downside. So that's my feeling, and we get a break to the downside, maybe into September, and that might last a few months, September, October, November. How bad the break is, I'm not sure. 2350 is certainly a target, that area of support. If it breaks that support level, I think 20,000, 20% bear market territory before we get a significant rebound up. That's Dr. J at 11, looking at the Dow today, which again is getting weaker, down 52 points, and is now below the upper trend line, which it actually had broken on 7/18. So it broke it, but there wasn't validation because we got a red candle the next day that intersected that trend line. So even though we have a break, it's still unclear that break is significant or meaningful in any way. Until we get a confirmation of that break, we're still trading within the two trend lines. That's all for today. That's Dr. J at 11, coming to you from Long Island, New York. And I'm going to stop screen sharing and just say a quick hello to you guys. Hello. Well, do I mean hello? A quick hello? Camera, come back. Camera, where are you? You're not being very cooperative, camera. These are my people. They're waiting to see Dr. J. I'm going to call out my service provider soon if you don't give me my picture. All right, you know what? You know what I look like. This is Dr. J at 11, waving bye from Long Island, New York. Hope you like my broadcast. Subscribe to my channel. Tell others about me. We do other things. On Friday, we did a chess game that I commentated. Look for other things like how to read the racing form, sports talk, all kinds of hobbies of mine that I'm going to share with you. Bye-bye.